So there's this myth going around that you have to spend a ton of money to get a good logo. And while custom design work is amazing and it absolutely has its place, it's really not where most solopreneurs or new businesses need to focus. Because the truth is, you don't need a perfect logo. You need a solid, usable logo that makes you look legit, and you need it fast. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 smart, budget-friendly ways to get a logo for under $25. Hi everyone, I'm Melissa from Zero to B2B, and I use my experience working with some of the biggest companies in the world to help small businesses and entrepreneurs launch and grow in the B2B space, only without the big agency budgets and complicated marketing plans. Today, I'm going to walk you through your logo options when you've got maybe a little bit more ambition than you do budget. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to move forward. No guesswork, no wasted time, and especially no empty wallets. But first, I want to talk a little bit about mindset because it's really, really important. A logo doesn't make your business. You make your business. Yes, your logo matters, but it is not what convinces people to buy from you. It's not your reputation, it's not your positioning, and it's certainly not your value. So personal story, I have definitely gotten caught up trying to find a perfect logo. A logo that encapsulates the essence of my brand and what I have to offer. And honestly, that was a big mistake. It cost me weeks and weeks of time. And that's time that I could have used to drive my business forward or validate a business idea to make sure it was worth the effort to put into the logo in the first place. And I will never ever know how much revenue I've missed out on because of that. So if you've been spinning your wheels stuck on this one piece, give yourself permission to just get a good enough logo. And then move forward. A simple, clean, professional logo is just a green light for customers. And that's all you really need right now. But Melissa, you're saying, how do I know what good enough is? Okay, fair. But you don't have to be a designer to figure it out. There are 5 simple measures that you can use as a gut check. Let's go through them. First is simplicity. Is it simple? If your logo has too many details, it can get messy really fast. A good logo should still work even if you just scribble it on a napkin. Second, is it memorable? If someone saw it one time, could they describe it? Or better yet, draw it from memory. If the answer is yes, then it's a sign that that logo sticks. Third is scalability. Your logo needs to look just as good on a tiny little Instagram profile picture as it does blown up on a billboard. If it's so complex that it loses clarity when it's too small, that's a problem. Fourth is versatility. Try your logo in black and white or on a dark background. Does it still hold up? A strong logo should work in just about any setting. And finally, does it fit your brand? So for instance, if you're a law firm and your logo is a cupcake, then that's not a good fit because it misleads people about what you have to offer. Is it simple, memorable, scalable, versatile, and relevant? But Melissa, you say, how do I really know if my logo is good enough? Here are 3 quick tests that anybody can use. Could a kid draw your logo from memory if they saw it just one time? If yes, that means it's simple and memorable. If no, your logo might be too complicated. So grab your nearest local child and give them a little logo test. I'm not advocating kidnapping, just to be clear. Second is the favicon test. If you don't know what a favicon is, it's that little logo that appears when you open up a web page in the tab. So if you see a company's logo in the tab of your web page, that's a favicon, and they are tiny. So shrink your logo all the way down to the tiny little size of a favicon. Can you still tell what it is? If it turns into a blur, that's a problem. And third is the black and white test. Strip all the colors away and look at your logo in a fully black form and a fully white form, and then put it on the opposite color background. A good logo will work even without its color scheme. So there you go, the 5-year-old test, the favicon test, and the black and white test. If your logo passes all 3, you're in pretty great shape. Okay, so now that you are a logo quality spotting expert, let's move on to how to get that logo for a great price. Let's start with the fastest and cheapest option, using an AI-powered tool to generate a logo for you. There are several free tools out there that use AI to generate a logo for you based on a couple of preferences. Things like your business name, your business category, and a general vibe. Right now, my favorite platforms are Canva, Logo.com, and Adobe Express Logo Maker. All you'll need to do is put in your business name, a few keywords, and maybe your color palette. Then the tool will spit out a dozen or more options in seconds. Pick your favorite, tweak it a little, download, and boom, you are done. So let's play with this a little bit to see what we get. All we have to do is go to Canva's website. Okay, so I'm just going to go pull up Canva's online AI logo generator and click Create a Logo with AI. All right, so it says to describe the image in your mind, and I'll bring it to life. I'm going to say my business. So let's see what that does for us. You'll notice here too that you can choose what size. So I'm going to actually choose 1:1. A square is, a pretty typical logo size. This is another common layout. I'd say that's another common layout as well, but I'm going to go for square this time. Oh, it shows. I'm going to go for square this time and then submit. So these are pretty good, right? What I'm noticing right away is that this kind of set seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to click on that. I think this is a pretty great example. So right now you can see that its output is planning on 1200 by 1200 pixels. That should be plenty for most use cases. And then you can just hit download and there you go. So super easy to do. We got a good generated logo this time. I think that's a perfectly reasonable option and free and fast. Took me 5 minutes to do max? I think the only downside with a service like this is that not all of the options were quite as good as that first option. So there was one in there, for instance, that had a photo, and that doesn't work when it comes to logos. It has to be more of a graphic design, not a photo itself. But on the plus side, we just got a logo for free. And many of these services offer a free logo service. Sometimes they'll have you pay a little bit more, like $10 or so, if you want a larger resolution or if you want various versions of it. But there you go. Fast and easy way to get a logo for free. The good news is that you do not have to take notes on any of this because I've put everything into a simple PDF. That way you don't have to go hunting for links or trying to figure out what to do next. You can download the free guide in the description below. So option 2 is to hire a freelance designer. Now I know that sounds like it's going to be super expensive, but there are actually amazing artists on sites like Fiverr and Etsy who offer their services at a price that they think is fair. And oftentimes those prices are incredible. On Fiverr, for instance, you can get a lot of entry-level designers who are designing logos at the $5 to $10 range. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so just here on Fiverr's website, and I'm going to type in, it says, what services are you looking for today? And I'm going to say logo design. And here's what comes up. So you can see we've got some higher price options that are in this more premium tier. So these in-demand freelancers are charging $25 to $130 to start a logo. And then as you scroll down, you can see others that, that looks like a great logo, $25 that someone would charge, $10, got $20, $15. And all of this is to make a custom logo for you. So that's kind of the advantage of working with a designer directly on a site like Fiverr, is that you can give them really specific instructions for what you want if you have a vision but just don't know how to execute it. So when you work with a designer on Fiverr or a designer on Etsy, what typically happens is that you submit the details that you'd like to have designed or like incorporated into your logo, and then they'll come back with a draft for you within a few days, and then you'll get to ask for revisions on that draft to make sure it's just right for you. Like we saw, there were a lot of options on that site under $25. But I will say there are some watch out fors here. First, I'd recommend that you maybe go with 2 different designers and test them against each other. So be prepared to pay maybe 2 $10 designers instead of, one $25 designer. That way you kind of have an option of what design you like best and who you like working with best. I once did this for a book cover design, and I had a lot of book covers that needed to be designed. So I decided to do a $20 test at the time, and I hired 4 different designers and I gave them all the same concept. And what they came back with was so drastically different. We had, some that were really not great, and then others that were amazing. And obviously you can't quite tell what you're going to get. And so there's a little bit of risk involved there. But I will say that I have found some of the most amazing designers, editors, on Fiverr and other sites like that that are just so talented that, it's really worth giving it a shot. Another watch out for on Fiverr whenever you're working one-on-one with a designer is to do a Google image search after you get it. Unfortunately, it does happen that some people are a little shady and they'll just steal a logo from someone else and repurpose it for you. And you obviously don't want that. You don't want to infringe on someone else's brand or, steal a design from a designer that, worked really hard to make that. The good news is that if that happens to you, there's an easy dispute process on Fiverr that you can kind of show, hey, this image was stolen and I want my money back. And it's typically pretty easy to make that happen. The last consideration here is that you want to make sure that the package that you're choosing from this designer gives you all of the options of the logo you need. You'll want to ask for your logo in a vector or high-res PNG format. I know that sounds like a lot of gobbledygook if you're not a designer, but what that means is that it's going to scale really well. You can make it very large or very small, and you won't have to worry about it being clear on a larger format. All in all, if you want the option to work with somebody directly with you who can translate your vision into reality, it's an amazing way to go. In fact, the editor that I'm working with on this very video, I found her on Fiverr, and we've been working together a lot, and I could not be happier with all of the service that she provides me, and I feel so lucky to be able to work with her. So option 3 is a great middle ground, and that is to buy a pre-made logo. And honestly, I kind of love this one. These are very high quality designs that graphic artists create in advance in template form so that you can customize them for your purposes. What's really great about them is that when it's a template, all you have to do is add your name and maybe customize the colors a little bit. And what you have is something that is unique to you. Some of my favorite places to find pre-made design work is on Creative Market, Etsy, and Envato Elements. These sites have a lot of options and they range in price pretty widely. But I think it's very easy to find a high quality design for under $25 there. In fact, I've seen logos on that platform for $2. The pro tip in working with pre-made designs is that when you search, you want to use very specific search terms. So instead of just typing in logo, you'll want to say vintage logo or minimalist logo or maybe tech logo. Searching like that is just going to give you a lot better results. So here we are on Creative Market, and I have to confess that I absolutely love this site. Not being sponsored by them, I'm just a true fan. I've been using them for years, and I can always find very high quality designs in a whole different range of options. So they offer things like fonts, they offer business cards, slide templates, they offer logos, obviously, just almost anything that you can imagine that you would want to use for business or for any design purposes that you're thinking of. So let's just do a quick search and see what we find. I'm going to look for vintage logo. So right away, we see there's just so many options here. If you're a creative or DIY kind of soul like I am, then you might like this too. And right away, we can see that there are lots of options under our $25 mark. So this one has 50 options for $19, 50 badge templates for $21, 50 badge logo templates for $25. You can kind of click into these and get a little bit more information. So let's look at this one. So it just gives you a preview of what you might buy. Look at all these great options. What's important to look out for when you're on a site like Creative Market is that what you're buying is what you actually need. So in this case, you can see that these logos are actually meant for Photoshop or Illustrator. There are EPS files included for other vector editing software. But if you're not accustomed to working in Photoshop or working in Illustrator, then what you're going to want to do is search for a platform that is actually what you like to work in. So let's refine our search. I'm going to go here again. I'm going to search vintage logos. And this time I'm going to add the word Canva, because that's a platform that is so easy to use. So even if you're not a designer, you can pick up on it really, really quickly. So this one looks interesting to me, this 2 logos bundle, and it has Canva right on the front. So I think that it's going to work, and it's within this price range, $9. It's a great deal. And if I scroll down, I can see that what's included are, 500 by 500 pixels, pretty good. A PDF file that's editable in Canva. Fully customizable, fully editable. So this would be a great option. One other call out is that oftentimes these pre-made design websites have different levels of licenses for you to use. And you'll want to read into the terms of each of those licenses to make sure you're using it appropriately. On Creative Market, I always go with the commercial license, which means that I'm allowed to use it for business purposes. Personal isn't right because I want to use it for my business. And extended commercial usually means that you as a designer want to take this, repurpose it, and sell it to other people. So I don't need that one either. So as you can see, these pre-made design websites are just a treasure trove of design goods. Highly, highly recommend. The last option we're going to talk about is trading your services with a designer. If you know a designer, or maybe have met one in a local trade group or business group, you can consider asking them to trade their services with you. You offer what you do, maybe it's accounting or IT setup or photography, and in exchange, they design a logo for you. This can be a total win-win situation that costs you time rather than money. When you ask for someone's services, you need to have something in exchange to offer them. I do have one word of caution though. Really be considerate in the way that you approach someone about this. The right way to do it is to offer something that is of equal or greater value than what you're receiving. What you want to do here is to build a relationship with someone that maybe is mutually beneficial over the course of time. So the right way to do this is to be specific about what you're offering, be specific about what you're asking for, and define a timeline that works for both of you. You want to make the deliverables crystal clear, both in what you're offering and what you're expecting. All of that sounds reasonable to you, then this might be a great fit. It's definitely a way to get a high-end design with a starter business budget. So which option is the best option for you? If you're in a hurry and don't have any budget, then I would suggest using an AI tool. If you want something totally unique and you don't mind a couple of days wait, then I would look at hiring a freelance designer on a place like Fiverr. If you want something polished and fast with minimal decisions and pretty much zero risk, then look at a pre-made design on a site like Creative Market. And finally, if you have a connection to a designer and you'd rather trade time than spend money, consider swapping services with a designer. So remember, your logo does not have to be perfect. It probably matters a lot less than you think it does. All you need is a logo that's good enough to get you moving. Momentum is your priority. You don't want to get stuck here. It's super common for newer businesses who are just starting to actually turn a profit and bring in solid revenue to have a logo redesign once they have the money to do it. So don't put more pressure on yourself to get something perfect. Just get it done. If this video helped, I would love it if you could give me a little like and subscribe. I'm a brand new channel, so every little bit helps. And I'll be sharing a whole lot more tips in the coming weeks. And drop a comment if you found one of these methods that really is going to work for you. Or if you've heard of a logo hack that I don't know about, I'd love to hear. Just remember you've got this. Your brand is worth building, but not at the expense of your business's momentum. So we're going to make a commitment to each other to keep our businesses moving. That's it for this week. I will see you again soon.